Welcome all to this discussion. We know that this was a long pending discussion, um, but we are very happy that we could do that, right? So we have Dr. Rakesh Nair, Baishyak, and Dr. Nishant here. So yeah, we'll be able to answer all of your queries. So yeah, we can get started, sir.
Welcome, friends. Welcome to this discussion on how to prepare for the upcoming NEET SS exam. This again sounds a bit more school-like, like when you're being taught by your teachers as to how to gear up for an exam 1 month ahead. I mean, all of you are very mature, as we've said so many times. Let's just go a bit into history with respect to the exam to get a feel of this. So until 2016, the exam pattern was not at all similar to any of this. We never had any NEET exam there. So it was depending on the institute conducting the exam or the state board conducting the exam. So there's no point in talking about that. So that is when I and Nishant, etc., joined PG. So there was a completely different ball game there. So we don't have anything to take from there. 2017 exam was an experiment in the sense that they wanted to unify things across the country. And as a part of that experiment, they did an exam which had all the basic sciences that was very negatively received across the country by all the teachers. And they went for a radical change in 2018. So 2018 is the year they decided that it has to be in part the medicine or broad specialty, and then you have to be having your super specialty subject also in part. But 2018, the NEET as such, the PG exam also was conducted along a very much one-liner pattern. So this was how the NEET NEET PG exam used to be. The NEET SS exam also was conducted like that in 2018. This was also received with a lot of widespread criticism. The UG PG exam was also criticized from all corners, and people wanted a change such that we get the best students to actually stick on to merit. That is when from 2019 onwards, they changed the pattern of the paper both for PG and SS, where we started to get really high, tough standard questions. So that reflected in both the PG paper as well as in the SS paper. The SS paper also, even the medicine part was tough. Everything was actually tough. The same trend continued in 2020, and 2021 was the last year when the same pattern of 60-40 was maintained. And now in 2022, they have announced an exam. This is going to be the first of its kind, for which we have nothing to basically compare upon. This has been announced as an exam where we'll be having 150 questions. Never have we had 150 questions over 2.5 hours to be answered in the subject, with PG exit level being mentioned as the syllabus, which is a very vague terminology. So nobody can define really what is PG exit level. So nowhere it has been mentioned that this question is based on this subject, how many questions will come from cardiology, neurology, no mention, nothing. So this is a first of its kind exam. So whatever we are saying is going to happen or may happen are all basically predictions only. Nobody can with 100% surety, or nobody can actually be very sure about how the exam is going to be. But seeing the nature of the exams the NAT board conducts, NAT board is not just conducting one exam. They conduct DNB exams, they conduct FMG clearance exams, they conduct your PG NEET exam, and they also conduct NEET SS exams. And all these exams follow a similar narrative, similar pattern, which means that if one is tough, then everything is tough. Now, if you see FMG exams and you compare them with the exams that we had 3 or 4 years ago, is extremely tough. Some of the FMG exam questions are almost like your SS standard. So we really don't have anything that way now. The exams that they do conduct are very tough. And many of you may be knowing in the 2021 paper in medicine, the questions that they asked under neurology were tough for even the neurologists to answer. So there is absolutely nothing like that. We just know that there is a PG exit syllabus. Once we know that there is a PG exit syllabus, we are just trying to cater to that. So let me just tell you at the outset itself that nobody really knows what's in store. Once the exam happens this year, next year, maybe 2 or 3 years, then we have an idea, okay, this is the pattern of the exam. So we are just here to maybe make predictions. So more than that, I would say scientific predictions based on numbers and data that this can happen, this might happen, etc. So we just tell you at the outset, in opposition to what so many others say, that you just listen to this and you follow this and you're going to get the exam. I am no magician. I have no such powers, nothing. I am just about to say, and even Nishant and Baishyak are about to say what they feel is right at this point, or more importantly, what they would have done if they were in your place. I think that's a better answer. So if what they would have done if they were in your place, or what I would have done if I were in your place, is what we are going to discuss. So Nishant and Baishyak, your comments.
See, one very clear thing is that the standard is of a PG exit exam. as Rakesh said, there is a vague terminology. PG exit exam, the standard is a vague terminology. So automatically many students equate it, okay, all questions will be asked from Harrison. I think that is a pretty wrong notion to consider that, because you see, first of all, if they can ask you questions from De Jong or from Paul Braces, if it's from neurology, they can ask you clinical questions from cardiology. They can ask you like which of the following does not cause S3 or S4. So even that is a PG exit standard. So when you do your MD medicine, you're expected to know latest guidelines. For example, you have to know your liver diseases guidelines. You have to know your GINA and your COPD guidelines. All those are also included in your PG exit exam. So merely sitting and mugging up Harrison, I don't think is a good strategy. So Harrison is a good book, granted. So if you have already read it well and if you're thorough with it, then it's fine. But for most of the candidates, 90% of the candidates are not going to be thorough with Harrison. So I would say that now is not the time to sit and read Harrison, and now is not the time to mug up Harrison. So if you see the exams which the NAT board conducts, even last year, the medicine part, they were pretty standard questions, and you had to know it was conceptual. So you had to know the in-depth the concepts. So my advice would be actually to get your concepts right rather than sitting and mugging up a given textbook. So taking tables, underlining those tables, mugging up those tables without knowing what is in that table, what is the concept or the rationale behind, actually does not make sense. The first thing I would like to say is, most important message I would like to say is, do not focus only on Harrison. PG exit standard does not equate to Harrison. They can ask a question from Cecil and Goldman also. So it does not, never says that we will only ask you questions from Harrison. So it is what the rationale would be is what an MD medicine person is supposed to know when he passes the exam. So if you look at it, it's pretty much a huge topic. So my advice would be is first get this concept out of your mind that somehow sit and mug up Harrison, study all the tables, study all the footnotes, subnotes and everything, and then you'll automatically get it. So I think that is one thing which you should get out of your mind. So I think Baishak, I think you're up
Yeah,
next.
actually, I also have to tell the same thing only. Like, if you just take your MD curriculum, suppose you are preparing for MD exam in neurology per se. If you read only Harrison, it will be difficult to pass a long case in neurology. It's as simple as that. You need to know clinical neurology. There is no clinical neurology in Harrison. You need to know a lot of things outside Harrison. You just take your curriculum, what is recommended in any university you take. Suppose you take the DNB curriculum for MD medicine, or you take the curriculum for a KUHAS or any university. There have been mentioned some books which are you supposed to know. It includes Perlos of cardiology, it includes Adams of neurology, it includes all the clinical books, De Jong, Braces. So you cannot define what is this exit PG level, because for an MD exam, for you are writing for a PG, you have already written the entrance exam for your PG. In that also, you were preparing for Harrison. So for that, the reference book is actually Harrison. But if you see the core books, which is given for any university, it includes a list of books, which includes Harrison, which includes API, which includes maybe Kumar and Clark. Some universities may include Oxford textbooks. And there is, of course, there is De Jong, there is Brace, I mean, Paul Braces is there, and Pearl of Cardiology is there, Brownwald is there. So you cannot define that what is a PG curriculum, because PG curriculum defined by an NBE as well as other universities contain all these textbooks. And second thing is, like, when you take neurology per se, if you go to the tables of neurology, it is almost like mugging up the tables is impossible task. Even for me, it is very difficult if you sit and mug up the entire LGMD type 1, type 2, A, B, C, D, or CMD 1, 2A, 2B, 2C. It is very, very difficult. You need to have conceptual knowledge. You need to have certain things you need to know, which is core areas. And suppose you take the entire sleep module from our own, like Marrow SS. The core topics, if you take from the sleep, the core questions which comes up predominantly from the narcolepsy or from those areas. So you need to know the core areas. You should concentrate on core areas. And it is not just Harrison based. It is basically the MD medicine. MD medicine is a very vast topic. It is not just Harrison. It is not like your MBBS. MBBS is like you can read few 3 textbooks and you can pass it. You just remember that when you're preparing for your MD medicine exam, final year exam, you have to follow a lot of textbooks, lot of things you have to follow. So all those things are comes under the curriculum only. So they can ask anything, and it is very difficult to mug up things. And if you go back to the previous question papers, because I had written the first NEET SS, which I had cleared in 2017. That also there are a lot of questions which are like more of you need concepts. You need concepts to answer those. So those concepts you cannot mug it. You need to know the subject. And the last 1 month, I think it is almost impossible to go through certain areas you have never studied. Go through a table and reading it will make a lot of confusion. You cannot do all those things right now. That is what I think. Rakesh sir.
Yes. So what I want to actually tell you upfront is the concept behind we starting this NEET SS platform itself last year. Why did we have a NEET SS platform? We have Marrow from 2017. We were not having any NEET SS platform. So what was the need to start a NEET SS platform all of a sudden in 2021 was itself the fact that we wanted to ensure we give state-of-art scientific knowledge to you. And that is what is called scientific knowledge, imparting scientific knowledge. So that scientific knowledge imparting is what we have been trying to do. And as far as this exam is concerned, I'm again telling you, please don't change that strategy. We have actually designed it and I have already delivered it. Once more, I'm going to tell you that we have made it into a PDF and you'll all be mailed with a PDF, which is called this list of recommended topics. We have recommended a list of topics that you must be watching, where to watch those topics from, some of them from NEET SS Medicine, some of them from NEET SS Cardio, some of them from NEET SS Neuro. Like that, we have made that entire list of videos starting from chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is exactly what we recommend. I again tell you, we recommend, not just like guaranteeing anything, but recommending that these are the likely areas. And 150 questions is quite a big number. So if you divide it into major chapters in medicine, you are likely to get, say, for example, 15 questions in cardiology, 15 questions in neurology, definitely. So if you take 15 questions in cardiology, 15 questions in neurology means those are the big chapters. And the others maybe 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12 each. You need to have solid grounding. If you want to answer 12 questions in rheumatology, just by having a vague knowledge, you cannot answer. And neurology, when they ask you 15 questions, maximum say 5 questions can be easy. But more than that, it is not going to be. So 100%, you need to be very clear as to what you want to be doing. We have not done anything till now with having only base knowledge. Please go ahead and see this list of videos. Quickly watch them. You're having the notes with you now. So it's very simple. You just have to brush through and just catch hold of all the important points and try and bin study in the next 30 days or so. And I think you will be in with a striking chance, depending on the specialty that you're looking for, depending on the college that you're looking for. But changing the pattern all of a sudden and then going back to this mugging format will not actually fetch any kind of dividends, is what I have to tell you right now.
Even I had to tell you that, like, you were thinking that the pattern has changed, but if you go through, if some certain students will be there already were following Marrow SS, so they have nothing to lose because they are actually Marrow SS has covered whatever is there in Harrison, whatever is there in most of the things. I cannot tell everything has been covered, but most of the things, whatever you are supposed to know in the subject when you're going through your MT has been covered. Especially in, I mean, any of the super special topic, if you go, that will be covered. Obviously, that will be covered. So there is nothing like the topics are not different. Topics are same only. And those who are planning to write in 1 month, I think there is no short things to do. Whatever you had prepared, that you should be strong enough, because you don't need to know the 100% things to crack an entrance. You need to know whatever you know, at least 50% if you know, that should be very solid. Otherwise, you will get confused with the options.
See, I'm just trying to answer to 2 queries that have been actually posted here. So just going through the queries. One query that has been actually posted over here. I'll just read out that query. That is it possible to crack the exam in the last 30 days? So that's quite a funny question. So it is definitely possible. If you have not studied anything and you're still having good background MD knowledge, I think if you follow these list of videos and you just try to quickly watch them and get the core out of it, it is definitely possible. Now, my major 2 questions that I want to actually focus on is number 1 about pulmonology. But I told you, pulmonology, unfortunately, we were not able to find out a faculty, to be very frank with you. We've tried extensively, but we couldn't find out a faculty. What we are trying our best is that you'll be given the medicine set of videos for watching basic pulmonology, and we'll arrange an MCQ session if possible. That's what we're trying our level best with the pulmonologist to get into anything additional. Okay, and apart from that, the second question, which is again this age-old question, which we've been trying to answer, but again you've come up. Sir, only Marrow and Harrison. Again, it is a debate between Marrow and Harrison. It's as if like we are people against Harrison and Harrison is like our enemy. So it is not that we are competing or fighting with Harrison over here. We're just trying to make our statement very clear that we are taught at a level which is definitely above Harrison. 100% I can tell you. And Baishyak and Nishant maybe 3 or 4 levels above Harrison. The others at least 1 or 2 levels above Harrison. So 100% it is definitely above Harrison. You don't have to bother about it. Please take it out of your system. The more you study, the more confused you're going to become. Just keep it very simple. There are only few days. Try to follow the set of videos and hopefully things will work out.
So yeah, one thing I would like to say is, see, about the level of Harrison, see, we have not taught you at the level of a DM exit candidate. So if you look at my videos, I haven't taught you much about the views of coronary angiogram or what do you do for anomalous coronary arteries. All of that is there in ground ball. It was not required for you. So we have taught you a level which is above that of PG exit exam, so that you slightly above, so that you get a better conceptual understanding. So rather than sitting and regurgitating Harrison to you, we have actually made a conceptual based video so that you get your concepts very clear. So please understand this. These videos are not at a DM final year exit level. Okay, so this is slightly above an MD level, but definitely below a DM final exit level. So if you look at your videos, if you look at your STEMI videos or your in-STEMI videos, these are definitely essential for a MD exit level. So that's why we are selecting and giving you some certain important topics that we feel. So for example, if you look at cardiology, I have excluded congenital heart disease, because one thing I feel is congenital heart disease is something which is not an MD's cup of tea. But we have specifically focused certain things on STEMIs, NSTEMIs, heart failure, cardiomyopathies, and all those diseases which definitely an MD candidate is required to know.
So that's the query which many of you have asked over here, like what to watch from medicine, what to watch from cardio, neuro, nephro, like that. So I'm once again telling you this, we have done a video on this last year. And if you have not watched that video, now we have this list of topics that will be mailed to you as a PDF, where it will be mentioned chapter wise as to what to watch from medicine, what to watch from that subject video. So don't have any botheration on that. Just stick to that and just follow that. That will be more than enough. As far as critical care is concerned, we are having a critical care MCQ session coming up by a new faculty, so that will be a bit of a surprise for you. Oncology per se is so vast. No? Clinical hematology part in that has been extensively dealt. Going and dealing with single malignancy one by one from head to foot is not practical. It is not possible. And nowhere in any medicine exam in the country have they asked any of these things. It is like sitting and studying parasites. There is no end to it, and it is absolutely not required. If you like start studying the life cycle of parasites, that itself will take you 2-3 years. So obviously those things are not needed. Just because Harrison has chapters on that, then in that case, psychiatric chapters are also there in Harrison. Dermatology chapters are also there in Harrison. So if you start reading that way, there is absolutely no end to it. Then we can actually hire a teacher to take toxicology also. That's not possible. Let us try to understand that this is a task that we are trying to actually counter. So in that way, we're just trying to figure out what is most important. We have those list of relevant topics. Please sit and study that. And I think that should cater to your purpose. And that is NEET SS exam. So I think unnecessarily thinking too much is not going to be very productive here. So keep it very simple and keep it very straight. Exam is PG exit level. We have taught at a level which is somewhere between a PG exit level and a DM level. So it's somewhere between that. That level is what we have always tried to hit. And I think that level is much beyond Harrison. 21st edition Harrison is again a question which many of you have put. What are the updates in 21st edition Harrison? My God, for heaven's sake, please understand that none of us have actually read Harrison on the day before taking a class. I may be very frank with you, no. I have my books, they have their books, everybody has their own books. Like for example, nephrology, we follow Fihali more or less. That is what we follow. And those books on those data that we have actually discussed are all basically 2021 guidelines on managing those diseases, which is definitely above the 21st edition. Again, I'm telling you. So there is not a point where we have discussed 2014 guideline or 2015 guideline. No, we have discussed everything that is 2021. So when we were shooting the video that is in 2021, whatever were the guidelines, that is exactly what we have discussed. So I think doing separate sessions on 21st edition updates is definitely at this point not worth. And about hard copy notes, I think again Arjun will actually come back to you. At this point, we are definitely considering only soft copy notes, not considering hard copy notes. Question bank for SS would be published in September. That is not before this exam, so that is only after the exam. You have a list of tests here and lots of questions. We have so many grand tests, so please feel free to answer them. And if any doubts, please do get back. And the important of this PDF will be mailed to you, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, sir, about test, like almost 3,000 plus important questions are compiled in our tests. There are a lot of subject-based tests as well as GTs uploaded. So I think like these are some of the best MCQs that we have created. Users like people should go through these MCQs very importantly. The QBank, we will not be able to upload this time before the exam because a lot of confusion will be there from the user side. So we will be uploading only after September, the exam.
Somebody has asked us to the fact that the questions in the tests that are conducted are unrealistically tough. So Marrow NEET SS mock tests are being unrealistically tough. Can you please frame mock tests mirroring the original exam? We have absolutely no idea about the original exam, dear. So because we have absolutely no idea about the original exam, the only way that you can actually create a mock exam is one step above. So in any entrance exam in the country or any exam for that matter, we can very easily answer questions that are one step below what we have studied. We can never answer any question which is one step above the level at which we have studied. But what determines the rank is whether you can answer a question at the same level at which you have studied. If you have studied for an entrance exam and in the heat and midst of the exam, you will never be able to answer a question which is at the same level. So studying one step above is of paramount importance. Only if you study one step above can you answer a more easy question in the heat of the exam. That's because during the exam you are stressed out. 150 minutes, 150 questions means you have only 1 minute per question. So to think too much and reason out and come to an answer may not be practical. So that is why the videos as well as the tests are one step above. Okay. So Arjun, again, hard copy notes question is again there for you.
So yeah, so see, right now the priority we are focusing is finishing the notes soft copy only. And in fact, medicine users are fortunate that we were able to complete all the most of the subjects. In fact, I think only infectious disease, endocrinology is almost done, so we are uploading that. I think apart from rheumatology and infectious disease, all other subjects will be uploaded. So right now we will not be logistically able to produce hard copy. So you can expect the hard copy for next edition, which will be after September. So right now we request all of you to look at the soft copy. These notes are very concisely built and they're brilliant. You should consider looking at the notes in your app, either in iPad or phone.
Arjun, also about our critical care MCQs which are coming up.
Yeah, so we are coming up with high yield discussions on MCQs of critical care. The shoot is happening in 9th and 10th of this month, so you can expect the videos to be uploaded in, let's say, by 13th of this month. So we are again saying that will not be a comprehensive full critical care super subspecialty module, because that again we'll be focusing on a critical care module towards the next edition. But right now this will be like high yield topics in critical care, which will be addressing through MCQ discussions.
So I have one question here directed to me that congenital heart disease, right? Pediatrics is now segregated. So should congenital heart disease be given that much importance? I think I've already answered that. So congenital heart disease right now, I don't think should be given that much importance. If it's particular, you can maybe learn your exam cases. So like something like ASD, TOF, something like that. So not much significant importance should be given to congenital heart disease with respect to MD medicine.
And actually, many were asking like, how, like one question Sarah was telling, like, why the questions are so tough. Actually, like Sarah was telling, like you cannot predict the pattern. Nobody knows what they are going to ask, because if you see last year NEET questions were so tough. It was very tough for even like for a neurologist. It was tough to answer those questions. Most of the questions from neurology last time, and before year was much better, much simple than that. Before that, much simple. So usually what happens is like when NB is sitting an exam, I had seen it, our staffs are doing it. Like they will collect questions from many of their representative staffs. And so for a new super specialty, obviously they will collect questions from the super specialty part also. So if somebody asks me or any neurologist to give a question for NEET SS, I will not be going to open the Harrison or open the tables. I will be like, whatever I think is important. And I think like when I was preparing for the NEET or preparing for MD, it should be known to me. That area I will be taking out and giving an exam. So I think it's like any area which you feel like you know that during the MD exam times it is important, that it is obviously important for the exam. And nobody can predict what questions, what they will put and all. Nobody can predict that it will be from Harrison, it will be from this book, it will be from that book, or it will be from Marrow. Nobody can predict that. You only can do is you can prepare. And those who are out of touch, someone has those who are out of the textbook, what will you do in the last 1 month? What they can do is the hot topics which we are going to give. Those hot topics you can go through, and those hot topics, at least like when you are preparing for the last 1 month, you should be going through the hot topics areas. We should be, whatever you are reading right now should be maximum yield. Only those areas yielding you maximum should be read during this time. So those areas will be giving you.
Somebody has asked, is it wise to start watching Marrow SS videos on first year of your post-graduation? No, this is not the platform to answer that, but definitely, I guess you can definitely watch. It will just boost your confidence on the whole. Your understanding will improve. When your understanding will improve, you will manage cases better. And as you manage cases better, your confidence will grow. But I think this is a place where we're trying to cater to the NEET SS 2022 exam. So
yeah, somebody asked me that Baishyak's module from sleep cycle, sleep disorders to be read for NEET SS. And actually, sleep, initial part, sleep, the physiology of sleep, that actually contains a lot of anatomy. If you want to read for the next coming NEET, you should read the sleep disorder part 1 and part 2. Of that, specifically narcolepsy, which has been asked every time one other question comes from narcolepsy, the newer drugs in the sleep which are coming in the market, what we just approved in the last 2-3 years. Then about the sleep cycle, like duration of sleep cycle, K complex, where in which phase or which stage K complex is seen, all those things. That's routine questions. Then again, one area is parasomnias. These are 3 areas every time they are going to ask if they come from a question from sleep is there. These 3 areas plus obstructive sleep apneas. There's 4 areas almost every time some question comes to sleep. These are the areas they are asking. Sleep cycle, duration, about the K complex, all those things, and staging. Then 3rd is a parasomnias, and 4th is a narcolepsy. Somebody has asked the same question.
So one question is, how do you prepare? What are the list of topics which are important from cardiology? So if you look at the Marrow SS cardio videos, I think the first video I did was actually the list of important topics. So anyway, we'll be coming up with another video saying what are the list of important topics for each faculty.
and about Arjun, about infectious disease notes, there are a few questions. So like,
yeah, so infectious disease, we can only try. I cannot promise, no, sorry, because for medicine we have given utmost importance, and like almost all important subjects we have completed. So infectious disease is the latest subject we have just added, and so we are actually pending from SS surgery notes as well. So but we'll try. After endocrinology we can pick up infectious disease, but I cannot promise that entire videos will be added.
So one candidate was asked. One candidate was I was asking like, how will the exam questions be? Will it be one-liners or will it be purely clinical? All I can say is that it depends on the examiner. So take into consideration the last NEET SS, which had long-term questions as well as highly clinical questions. So I think that would be a good reference point. But to say definitely how the exam would be, I think it depends on the examiner. So I would expect usually a clinical-based exams, which focuses on concepts.
another interesting question that has been asked is what will be the winning score? So that's quite an interesting question, because when you have 150 questions, what is expected to be the winning score? It's actually speaking very tough to say without knowing the depth of difficulty of the paper. But I guess from what NATBoard is going through, they are going to make this paper tough. I never have a feeling that this is going to be an easy paper. But just because so many of the seats are going laps and many people are not qualifying, etc., especially service candidates, they may keep around 30-40 questions easy, but the rest of the questions are going to be very standard. So somebody who maybe scores around 120, 25 out of 150 correct test wrong on an average score getting say about 115 would be the topper is what I personally feel. And somewhere between 100 to 115 is where you have to be targeting to get a good seat. That is my personal thing, but I'm not 100% sure about it. But I am never expecting any simple one-liner questions. There may be 25, 30, maximum 35 simple one-liner questions. Rest of the questions are going to have some crux. So definitely, it is not going to be that easy, is what I feel. Okay.
See,
Somebody
one thing I
asked-
want one thing I want to emphasize is, see, if you're a candidate who has prepared well, you want a tough question paper. So if it is a very easy question paper, then all your advantage is probably neutralized. So if you are a candidate who studied well, who's prepared well, you actually want a tough question paper.
Sir, is it possible to add date to the videos when they were short? They were all short, I think somewhere May, June, July 2021. Some of them I think have gone to August.
November.
Most of them are
November.
June, July. And Baishyak I think is short almost round the year. So his videos are very difficult to predict exact time. Others are all May,
yeah,
June, July.
I think all your videos are updated. So if there were anything new has come, you have a short video at the end of it. For example, in heart failure preserved ejection fraction, I've added a 5-minute video at the end of it to encompass the new guidelines. But pretty much all your guidelines have changed in 18, 19, 20, and 21. So I think all are up to date with the latest guidelines. If there is any change in the guidelines or anything new comes up, we can add that in the videos.
Yeah, same thing. Like we have actually, like if you see the 21st edition Harrison, the simple one is strong. The new guidelines are not there in that also. So latest things I had tried to put till 2021. Everything has been covered, I think, in the videos. And somebody has asked like topic wise, if we do a topic wise MCQ plus tables or images or whatever we have consolidated with cost of living to subject is the best strategy. Actually, what I think is like you should consolidate. You should find some time to consolidate whatever you read. And when you are doing MCQ, what you can do is, which I did, was like back revision. But from whatever you have read, you can go back and revise from there. The MCQ, the options, you can go back and revise. That was my strategy. You can plan your own strategy. We cannot tell that any strategy will be useful. Anything. It all depends upon your own way of reading and learning.
I think there's one question. I think I'll leave it to Rakesh to answer. So, are seeing 240 videos from general medicine enough, or do you want to see super subspecialty videos?
That is the reason why we have done a module last
Done
year.
a video, exactly.
Will be actually mailed to them also. I have made this entire list of videos. We have actually made a list wherein we feel that this topic has to be watched for specialty, this topic has to be watched for medicine, this is recommended to watch for specialty. So that PDF will be mailed to all of you. So you will be getting that entire list of videos chapter wise where you expect to watch this video from. That is again your choice, but this is my recommendation. So in that I have mentioned specifically, this is the area that you have to be watching this from, this is the area that you have to be watching that from. So you can stick on to that. So it's not possible to practically watch all 240 videos that way.
Exactly.
We have made a list of the videos that have to be watched from medicine, the list of videos that have to be watched from the subject. And with that, we have made a concise thing. So I think you can actually stick to it. And I think it's practical to complete it inside 1 month also.
See, please understand that there's nothing called general medicine and subspecialty. You add all the subspecialties and you get general medicine. So it's not like that you have to study, it's general medicine is something separate and then subspecialty is something separate. So one of the candidates has asked, do you have to see cardiomyopathy from general medicine videos or do you have to see cardiomyopathy from the specialty videos? So I would say it depends on the amount of time and the amount of understanding which you want to gain. So if you have limited time, probably you can see from the general medicine videos. If you want a better understanding and you have more time available, I would suggest you go from super specialty videos. But please understand, there's nothing called general medicine and subspecialties. You add all the subspecialties and you get medicine.
Arjun, questions on 1 month subscription plans?
So, yeah, so this is in consideration. It's not a 1 month plan. We are looking for a 2 month plan. We'll be announcing that very shortly.
Future of DM, critical care, DM, oncology, etc. This is not the platform to discuss discuss that, and who are we to predict the future of subjects, man? In that case, we wouldn't be sitting here. But anyway, such queries, etc., we can actually take up as a separate discussion. Also, for people who have not done MD in medicine, MD in pediatrics, etc., I think those can be taken up as separate discussions. We are now talking about people who are very seriously preparing for the exam 1 month ahead. So I was just looking to the mass, and the mass number of students are people who have just passed out their MD medicine, pretty much happy that they have finally cleared MD medicine, now having a bit of euphoria about it, thinking about the factor whether I should be doing SS, I should not be doing SS, etc. And then, okay, if I'm doing SS again, I have no clear plans as to which subject I should be taking forward. But for the fun of it, I will write the SS exam. And if in case I get a seat, I will move forward, or else I will continue with SRship. So this is where most of the people are. Whether you strongly want to do SS or not, I would recommend that 100% you please do DM, not basically because your job opportunities are going to scale up, nothing that way. Your knowledge will become better. That means 3 years more, you are once again in a top college in the country, you see large number of patients. So your overall knowledge in medicine as well as in that subject will improve. So 3 years is not enough to study anything in medicine. So MD is like a preliminary primary course, like a LP level school course. So by doing DM, at least you will come to that high school level, so that at least that level will go up. It's not just in that single subject. When you are doing a subject in a medical college, you will be indirectly having consultations going and working in medicine. So that level knowledge is something which you will be losing once you come out of the medical college. So as long as you are in a medical college setup, that is your best place to be. So just to study for 3 more years, we can do a course. 100% recommended to do a course. Then second thing, should I be doing immediately? That is up to you. You can pause and do later, or you can do, and all those things are left up to you. As far as the exam is concerned, the degree of difficulty is so much dependent on the type of subject that you're looking for. Means that level difficulty of endocrine can't be expected for nephro, can't be expected for another subject. So it is different. So that is again not what we are going to discuss here.
So question has asked us, do we expect questions from 2D echo and calculations on 2D echo? So I don't think so. See, even when I taught NEET SS cardio, I haven't taken anything on great detail in 2D echoes. So I've just shown you those 2D echoes. I haven't taken how to calculate and all, because I feel that is a proper DM level. So I don't think it should be asked last time also, and I don't think it will be definitely asked this time also.
So pulmonology, again, so many people are asking on pulmonology. So for the time being, what we have planned is that you'll be getting the medicine videos in pulmonology, and also we're trying to arrange an MCQ session in pulmonology. So that is what we have planned for now. And I'm openly telling you, if you know somebody who has completed DM pulmonology and knows to take good classes, please recommend to us. Highly, highly recommended. Okay. So the only reason why we have not come up with pulmonology videos is simply because we've not been able to find out someone whom we thought can actually come up to that level and teach. Okay, so then, sir, it will be very helpful if a short video is made in Marrow SS app on recent updates. My God, these recent updates will kill us. This is something which I think we have discussed enough and more number of times. I think sometimes Harrison may get offended and may send us mails, etc. Let us not talk more on this. So how many questions can we expect unit-wise roughly? Okay, so will cardio and gastro have more weightage? I don't know if that word has any fascination for cardiology, gastroenterology. I am not aware of that. Nishant may know, I don't know. So what
so you must understand that one person doesn't set the question paper. So I think you will have an even distribution of subjects. So I don't think you can give enough weightage to one subject. So you have to be know all the subjects. So I don't think you can give one subject particular weightage. So certain subjects are obviously bigger. For example, neurology and endocrinology are probably the biggest subjects, the largest amount to study. So that you might have a couple of questions extra, but I don't think you can give an individual subject extra weightage.
Environmental medicine and toxicology. Even if some question comes, you answer. If you don't know, you don't.
You would have practiced toxicology, right?
Anyway,
so you must understand. See, I would like to say something. See, you cannot study everything in medicine. So toxicology is something you would have practiced. Like me and Rakesh, where we had toxicology ICU. So you have practiced those things, and if any question comes, you should be confident to answer based on the patients you have seen. So if you'll be reading about S3, S4, MDM, EDM, PSM, everything from your say second year MBBS level. So you should be confident to answer those questions. You cannot keep on teaching those basic stuff. So although that comes under medicine, you are expected to know those things.
See, let me tell you very frankly, if I were expecting or I were attempting this exam, infectious disease, oncology, toxicology, environmental medicine and stuff, I wouldn't touch in the next 1 month. I just leave it and just hope that if I know the answer, I will answer. Otherwise, I will leave. In this 1 month, we can study those 8 major core subjects, including endocrine, rheumatology, hematology, cardio, neuro, nephro, gastro. This is all. Nothing more than this we can actually study. So please, please don't ask such questions because I have no plans to teach that also. So like
and again, from these subjects, at the last 1 month, you should see only the core. You should watch or study only the core topics, which will yield you. Otherwise, you cannot finish it.
Okay, a very difficult question to answer, which has been asked from the candidates. The candidate says that he or she is not from a background of MD medicine. So
yeah, that's
how
a
do you?
different. I think that's a different discussion altogether.
That's a difficult discussion.
Totally different discussion. So
let me just add here. I think a lot of people are asking where will be the important topics PDF be available. So on a priority, we'll add that in SS Medicine FB group. Okay. So tomorrow you will be able to see it there. Also, you can download and use it. We'll also make sure that we will email you all this list.
yes. So please provide 3-year plans for subscription.
Yeah, that is something.
I think Arjun can.
At least there is a discussion ongoing for 2-year plan. So once it's launched, we'll update. 3-year plan we haven't considered, but we can look at it.
Okay, one question is, some say don't work, sit and prepare for DM entrance. What do you suggest? Okay, anyone to answer that?
Yeah, please come on.
What was that?
So candidate has asked the question that some say that don't work, sit and study for your DM exams. So I'll give a brief introduction to that. See, it depends on, if you want to work and it depends on your ability. So some people can work simultaneously and then crack the exams, but some people actually need to sit and take leave or something and then keep on learning. So it depends on your ability. I think it should be an individual decision, and especially at this age, we all have priorities and commitments. So I think if you require money and you probably have to go and work, but at this age, you have to take into consideration several things, not only your level of knowledge, your ability, but also your financial status and your commitments.
Yeah.
So Rakesh, anything on that?
I personally feel like, see, these are very personal things. You are the best person to decide upon what you want and how much you want to prepare, etc. But like when in a competitive exam, you're competing with people who are not working and studying. Obviously, they're putting in more time, so they have the edge. So I personally feel that when you're taking the exam very seriously and planning that you are going to become a nephrologist, what is the point in working now? Unless and until you have financial constraints. So it's only for people who are having financial constraints. I think otherwise I wouldn't basically recommend. Very interesting question is, how many hours per day should we spend in this 1 month? Like, is it like asking the principal of the school, ma'am, how many hours should I study per day? How many hours you can study per day? Like, what should I answer for that? I have heard this question being asked to IAS toppers, no? How many hours have you put in per day? Then they'll say 16 hours. I have put, other person has put 17 hours. How much ever you can study, you study, man. At this age, studying itself is a huge bonus. The fact that you are able to study itself is like a blessing, because you imagine anybody in any other profession at this age would be definitely not studying. They would be doing something else. So the fact that you feel like, okay, I can study, that itself is a huge bliss. So don't count on the hours, just kind of study how much ever you can.
So I'm a radiation oncology resident. I've done most of the videos from topics from the videos. Anything else should I read for better conceptual learning? So I'll say to him that I think if you have won a radiation oncology resident and you have been able to finish all the videos, great, congrats to you. And I don't think you need to know anything more about for conceptual learning. Your concepts are going to be pretty strong. Yeah. Go and write the exam straight away.
So one question is, whether the group test of one is being conducted on August 1st. 10th August is too late. See, we have spaced out the test in such a way that we are giving 3 GTs for this month. And we are also having a lot of subject-wise mini test ongoing. So I don't think we will have bandwidth to have one more GT added. So I think we'll stick to this schedule only, 1st August and 10th August.
Old NEET SS papers, question paper discussion, please let me tell you again that this is a new format. So we going back and discussing old papers doesn't make any sense, because old papers were based on the old format. This is a new format. So for new format, going and discussing old papers, I don't know. And more than that, whatever questions have come in the old papers, we have discussed during the course of our videos. So, but still I'm telling you, because the pattern has changed, that really doesn't make much of a sense. How to study oncology in a short period? No, you cannot study. Leave it, man. You cannot study. By the time you finish studying lung cancer alone, this 1 month would be over. So please, for heaven's sake, don't attempt that unless and until you have got so much exposure, etc. I think 99% of people have zero exposure to oncology as a PG. So better not study.
So another question, Nishant sir, are echo findings in valvular heart disease expected to be known? So I think if it's a PG exit level, probably not.
Sir, I think people have some confusion that we will be emailing PDF of notes. See, we will not be emailing the PDF of notes, or we will be uploading to a drive or anything. The PDF of notes will be available in your app, right? In the video section, along with the videos, you will be able to see the notes there. Due to security reasons, we will not be able to mail you or mail you the PDF. So sorry about that.
Which book to read for passing MD General Medicine? If you passed already means then fine, man. Don't have to think about this. If you have not passed and you are attempting next year means, okay. I don't know any particular book that is useful to pass MD. If you know, please help me out with that. Okay. So.
Rakesh Nair, sir, would you like to ask whether we should upload important MedOnco videos?
That is a hugely debatable thing, because MedOnco, what is being shot right now by Vishnu, is a very higher order MedOnco. It's a very higher order MedOnco, and he is trying to go at a INI SS, and that too the old INI SS, very tough level of MedOnco. So he has given enough and more time to discuss CS stomach. CS stomach will be like 2-hour discussion. Each of the brain tumors will be like 30-minute discussion. Then he has gone into prostate. He has gone to so many areas. So because he has gone into vast areas, it is not possible for us to gauge and put like that. So if you put these videos, that alone will take somebody seriously interested another 2 to 3 months to get a grip on it. It's not like he has done superficially. And oncology can't be done superficially. And I'm again and again telling you, what the oncologist perceives and as a medicine person, what you perceive is very different. So when I am learning CS stomach as a medicine PG, I would think CS stomach is a surgery topic. So we are not learning CS stomach. When we are thinking of CA colon, we don't learn CA colon as a medicine person. We think that is a surgical topic. But when it comes to super speciality level oncology, CA stomach becomes oncology topic. So at a PG exit level, I'm again telling you, oncology, solid organ tumors will not be asked. If they ask you questions that are going to be on lymphoma, leukemias only, I'm 100% sure with that, because all the solid organ tumors are surgical. Only when you become oncologist, you have a medical part in that. Which is the solid organ tumor that is medical? Can you tell me a single solid organ tumor that is medical? You look at all the solid organ tumors, they're all surgical things. They're all handled by the surgeon, but then handled by the onco-surgeon and the onco-medicine person together. So it is definitely not PG exit level. And the study that one malignancy you will require maybe say so many days, I really don't feel that is required. For people who are seriously preparing for oncology INI SS, Vishnu's videos will be uploaded, I mean, as quickly as we can.
See, being from an MD medicine background, let me tell you, I think all of us have the least exposure to oncology.
Yes.
The malignancies are definitely not our cup of tea. What we do is we diagnose a malignancy and then send to something else.
Exactly.
It's not like something in cardiology where MDPs thrombolize a patient, manage instantly, treat hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, where we manage cardiac diseases, we manage neurological diseases, rheumatological diseases, and such.
Yes.
Hardly any MD medicine PG is going to manage malignancy, or whether it's solid or liquid or whatever it is. Hardly any medicine PG is going to manage it. Their utmost role is to diagnose and then refer to the corresponding specialty. So I think it's a very difficult cup of tea for everyone.
Everyone.
So,
see, I am a nephrologist. You ask me, do I know anything about renal cell cancer? Means my knowledge on renal cell cancer is like very bare minimum. Because
so
if you see renal cell cancer, we refer to the urologist. Nothing else we do.
if you ask me my knowledge about cardiac tumors, I will say that I have maybe around a half an hour worth knowledge of cardiac myxomas and pretty much nothing else. So I don't think it's very difficult for even super specialists to know about malignancies. Right? That's why I said it's not an easy cup of tea for all those with an MD medicine background.
As a neurologist, if I take a CT or MRI, I see a tumor, I will tell, okay, there is ICS, refer to neurology. That is what we are trained to do.
That's what we say. We diagnose, see, in all other conditions, we treat we can treat those patients. But malignancy is something that the moment we diagnose it, we say straight away refer this patient to some other person who's capable of managing it.
And one more question is like, Harrison, all the tables should be thoroughly remembered, right, sir? Okay, actually, if you are remembering, it is well and good, but I think it is almost impossible task to go through all the tables and remember everything. Because if you see Harrison, they are given one table, which is one chapter of Bradley. They're given one table, the entire table has been given on chapter of Bradley. So it is impossible unless you know the concepts, unless you know what it is, then you go through a table, it will be interesting and you will understand and you can remember. Otherwise, many of the tables, it is almost impossible to remember this. How many tables are there? A lot of tables.
See, your job is to understand the concepts. Once your concepts are crystal clear, the answers will follow. If you don't know the concepts and sit and mug up the entire tables and the entire text and footnotes of Harrison, unless you have a photographic memory, you will not clear the exam. So please understand that your job is to understand the concepts and make it crystal clear, and the results will follow it.
And most importantly, somebody who is think of somebody who is going to sit and put the exam questions, like he will be a specialist only, most likely, because last time also they were used to send the collect questions from the specialist, like super specialist only. So if somebody is going to make a question, but they are not going to take from the table. They are definitely not going to take from the table, because these questions, like, when you see the questions and go back, you can tell that, okay, that is there in the table. That is there in the table because that topic is important. Because in Harrison, those tables, the topic is important. So they will get questions on the important topics, and that important topics are always important. So that is in the table. That is the reason. Unless that is not like you should go through all the tables, you can study all the tables. If you are able to remember all the tables, then well and fine, it is very good. But otherwise, I think it is impossible task to remember the tables in Harrison, like all the tables. Some tables are easy, but most of the tables are very difficult to remember.
So just one question has come. I'm seeing multiple about this question. Whether they should watch MCQ discussion videos. So can like somebody highlight that?
Yeah, that I have actually mentioned in the PDF already, like which are the MCQ discussion videos that you recommend them watching. We have already mentioned that exactly chapter wise, which MCQ discussion video you want them to watch. So that is part of what we have already discussed. And any MCQ discussion video that is actually uploaded as a part of our medicine Marrow SS is definitely worth a watch. So you can, if you have time, you can watch everything, but most recommended things with respect to that we have already discussed. So that has been already.
So one candidate has our Marrow SS videos and notes enough for INA SS also. I think definitely so.
100%.
Don't take my word. Take the candidates who have cleared with top ranks in the exam, in the previous INA SS exams. So I think that will be pretty much enough.
Yeah. Somebody has asked on Harrison's updates on health economics. If you economics, you please tell me. I have no idea.
I think all you can do is complete the important chapters. Okay, and hope for the best. I know if somebody is really determined to ask on fringe topics like health economics, emerging diseases, re-emerging diseases, then I think it's going to be very difficult. All you can do is prepare for
the basic rule in an MCQ exam is a question which everybody knows is also a zero value question. A question which the mass majority doesn't know is also a zero value question. There are questions which majority would answer, but you wouldn't answer. Those are the questions that put you in trouble. If you answer a question which everybody knows, that has no value. If you don't answer a question which nobody knows, that also has no value. So if a question comes on health economics, I'm damn sure 99.9 will not answer. So you can happily leave the question or answer some rubbish and lose 1 mark also. Nothing will happen. So please be happy about it. Just focus on the questions which the mass will answer and you are not answering because you have not studied. Those are the only questions that you need to be bothered about.
See, there are some areas which are very, very important. Some areas are important. Some areas are very rare to us. If you go in the last 1 month, if you're going to read only those rare things, you will miss all the major chunk of questions. You may get 1 question or 2 questions from that area. And again, the entire, what I want to tell you is like entire topic, if you take 100%, you don't need to, nobody can study 100%, and there is no need to study 100%. If you study at least 50%, that and 50% you're able to deliver, that is enough.
See, when I started my videos, I've said about the Pareto principle or the 80-20 principle. So 80% of output comes from 20% of the input. So 20% is only what you need to know to get 80% of your questions right. So if you focus on getting the other all 100%, you will have to put in a huge amount of effort. So my suggestion is only focus on the important areas. See, the people who are going to get ranks in the next month's NEET exam are not the people who are sitting and mugging up Harrison cover to cover and becoming extremely thorough in the tables. They are those people who have focused their efforts on the important high yield areas and have got their concepts covered. So those are the people who are going to crack, and they will actually crack any exam you give to them. As long as your concepts are through, any exam you're through.
And basically the exam pattern is not to make sure that who knows Harrison. The exam is not about that. Exam is who knows the concepts and who knows the subject better. And it is not about how much part of Harrison. I don't know why everyone is obsessed about that.
So that is basic biostatics need to be done. I
think when I have written any exams, I have not read anything on biostatistics. So I would just rely on basic knowledge.
That's all. Studying for that now is not worth it. So don't just unnecessarily waste your time.
See, we are finding it difficult to study our own topic of MD medicine now, going behind biostatistics.
How many questions should you attempt? What is negative marking? There has been already mentioned negative marking for this exam is 4:1. So like our normal exam is. How many questions should you mark? Means I would definitely.
I think you should attempt almost
every
everything.
Question. Yeah, every question is
at least 95%.
145 out of 150 strongly I would recommend. If possible, 150 on 150. Otherwise, minimum 145.
See, you must understand one thing. No matter how much, if you are attempting only the questions you know, you will still get around 10 to 15% questions wrong. Yeah. And that will grossly adversely affect your ranks. So my advice is you answer as many questions as possible. So there are certain questions which nobody will be able to answer. In those questions you can safely leave, but practically try to answer at least more than 90 to 95% of questions. Please understand that you can even guess the answer. So I've made a video on how to approach MCQs. So please have a look at that. So even if you don't know the answer, it is still possible to guess the answers using various techniques. So I think it's available on YouTube. Please have a look at that.
Again, the questions are keep on coming about the recent updates.
So that is what I would ask them to kindly mention specifically the topic where there has been an update and whether that topic has been under discussed in our platform or we have not met your level of expectation with respect to that topic. For example, if you're telling a topic, say you tell any topic and say that, okay, you have expected this level of discussion as per Harrison, but the level of discussion in the app is not met your expectation, then I think we will cater to that. Rather than just vaguely saying update, if you can mail us the list of topics that you want, 100% if you feel that, we also feel that the level of discussion in the app is one step below what you are expecting, we can definitely reconsider doing that. You just say topic updates means I don't know from where, what do you actually mean? Because I guess we have discussed the guidelines and the society updates. We have these Indian Society of Nephrology, we have Endocrine, we have Indian Society of Neurology, all these things. So our updates are actually well and truly in concurrence with that. So I don't think you have to be worried about the updates part. Updates part, I think we are well and truly on. There's nothing to worry.
Yeah, somebody has asked like, Baishyak sir, could you guide us on last 1 month strategy? I personally believe that there is no strategy per se. It is individual strategy. If I am going to write the exam, what I will going to do, that only you can tell. That may be practical for you, may not be practical for you. If I am going to write the exam after 1 month, I will go through the topics which is likelihood of getting a question from that. And I will be going through the MCQ with the back revision. and I will divide my daily time, whatever time I'm available, into 3 parts. And one part I will keep for MCQ with back revision. 2 parts I will divide between basic subject and specialty topics. That is what I will plan if I'm going to the exam. That is the only thing I can tell, and I will keep the last 4-5 days blank, and I will revise in the last 1 week whatever I have studied. I won't read any new things for the last 1 week. This is what I will do if I was going for exam. I can tell only that.
Required run rate is 36 per over and people want to score 40. Yes, so 36 per over is also now possible because we can actually hit a 6 of a no ball and you can get an extra ball. So probably even if you think 36, it is not like the old 36. Nowadays people are scoring 36 and over. So don't be really bothered about it. It is possible. So just keep studying properly and you will be in the groove. There is a lot of luck factor also involved in this exam. So we definitely have a chance. 100%.
See, please understand, you have more time than you actually think. Okay, you still have a decent amount, at least more than 1 month, and that is plenty of time to crack an exam. You actually have more time than you think. It's not that you have a tremendous time pressure and it's not possible or anything. You definitely have enough time to crack an exam. Please understand that.
Vaishnav, can you share the Facebook group link here? I think a lot of people are asking for that.
Yes, sir, I'll send it to you. Yeah.
I am a third year postgraduate. How to proceed forward so that it helps for both theory and practicals and DMSS entrance exam? I guess being a third year postgraduate, you basically just focus on what you're seeing and accordingly your discussions and come and read the corresponding topics. I think that will finish a big chunk. And then when you want to actually, kind of discuss more on a topic or listen more to a topic, you can figure out that and you can go forward. Apart from that, whatever you see properly in the ward, if you just come back and read that, because you'll get time as a final year, I think you will be fine with most of the topics. There wouldn't be a problem. And once you want to expand on that, I think you can later on take it forward.
See, Marrow gives you a unique opportunity. So you get a super specialist point of view on a given topic. So you would go to a cardiology postings or a neuro postings and you will feel that the way they approach is completely different. So here also, when you are an MD medicine graduate, you would automatically see a topic being taught by the corresponding super specialist. You will automatically feel that something different is being taught or something which is, you have a better crystal clear understanding of concepts. So that is a golden opportunity. I wish I had it by the time when I was doing my MD.
See, that is what I still remember very clearly. When we had patients where we had to correct hypokalemia for examination, we used to get a lot of times in the casualty and in the IP. We used to stay up to date. Somebody would be having up to date on the phone. Then we would type hypokalemia, go for management of hypokalemia, then see that, then take the ambule and see how much is there in 1 ml. Then we try to calculate with the paper. Now, what is the thing? When you just open this open hypokalemia, see management, it is there. The soft copy itself only you need to read. You don't have to even see the video. In that it will be written 1 ambule equal to this many ml, 1 ml equal to this many ml. You can put 2 ambule into 1 ml and just run it over 5 years. Even drops per minute is mentioned. More than this, what can be done? So you just,
so even if you take
that is what I'm saying.
You take a topic like hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, it is not only explained with the images, explained with the echoes, with cardiac MRI, ECGs, everything. So I think it's a golden opportunity. And the more time you give it, actually your clinical experience and your ability as a practitioner would be greatly superior.
And this is always something we have to do all throughout the lifetime. Even now, when I see some cases, most of the cases, I have to go back and read. That happens every day. I have to go back and read. Sometimes in the ICU, you have to open the mobile, take some updates, and you have to read it because things keep on changing and everything will be new for you day by day. That is why we love this profession.
And also, please understand that when you become a neurologist, this is your last opportunity to study nephrology, cardiology, and all the other sciences. Once you become a neurologist, then you are having to focus on neurology. But as he said, when you see a patient may be having so many other issues also, which you cannot skip away from. So naturally, even though you become any kind of a specialist, basic physician level knowledge is mandatory. Without having basic physician level knowledge, you cannot even treat your father or mother. So for that matter, at least you must be having basic physician level knowledge. It is not like once you become neurologist, only neurology you need to know. That is not the case. We are not living in isolation here. So minimum knowledge is required for everyone. I think you would have actually felt the same. When you go back to your house, your relative or your friend may actually come, or a neighbor will come and ask you about knee replacement. You have nothing to do with knee replacement, but still you are bound to give some answer. That is what MBBS is about. So we can't get away from it.
See, one thing is that diseases don't read textbooks and come and present to you. So if a patient comes to me with cardiac failure, it is not going to be restricted only to the heart. The next day, his creatinine will start to increase. So you need to know something on whether to give fluid or whether to give something else for that. So please understand that it doesn't restrict itself to a particular system. You need to have an overall understanding of the entire subject of medicine. So it is a subspecialty rather than a super specialty. So please understand. So one touching
somebody has
comment.
asked on API textbook of medicine, whether it should be considered. So at this point, to buy API
I
textbook
think
medicine, it is not possible.
exactly.
Man. Please don't do that. Please don't.
So I think a touching comment just about that. I'll be using Marrow seriously in my residency to become a good doctor. I think that is what everyone should aim to do. And rather than focusing on NEET SS or something, become a good doctor. They treat patients better. That I think will give us the greatest degree of happiness. I think Rakesh should agree to that, right?
100%. That is the prime reason we are studying. See, at a point, you will lose the focus on whether you are a neurologist, nephrologist. It is not like that. That particular case that comes to you, how to manage it scientifically is the only thing. So there is nothing more than that. And that is what all of us should actually try and achieve. So somebody has said that is GT scores are not improving. So that is okay, man. You're just starting to do right. So there's nothing to worry about it. Just constantly push forward. Just watch the videos, have an idea, do the test. And I think it's just a matter of time that you'll pick up. There's nothing to worry about it.
Somebody again asked the same question. Of course, if you're preparing now, you're starting preparing now, you can only do is again, the important topics will be given in PDF. You can go through the topics, go through the questions only from those topics. You cannot read much at this moment if you are starting to read now.
INI preparation strategies, we'll actually come back with another video. So we're not discussing it here. INI is core subject. So you have to be much stronger with respect to subject.
Exactly.
There is no option of skipping video and taking nothing like that. You have to be watching head to foot. So that we'll discuss some other time.
So I think
how do you achieve clarity is what somebody has asked. I mean, achieving clarity is by not reading and not listening to crap, just focusing on what is most required. That is how you achieve clarity. So people may teach so many things. You must also, as a student, have the diligence to figure out as to what you want and what not you want, what you don't want. So we are also not extraordinary human beings. We'll be talking some crap in the middle. So you should be having the diligence to figure out as to this is what I want and figure it out and keep it ready so that you really can actually reproduce it for the exam.
Achieving clarity is one thing you should gain for yourself. So if you see, say, my videos or Rakesh's videos, it is based on his clarity, his level of understanding. Ultimately, you should also get a level of understanding. So it's the same thing when you manage a case. You might learn all your guidelines, you might learn how to approach a case of hypokalemia, but ultimately, when you come to a given patient, you should have your own approach, adjusting to the level of the institution which you are in, to the lab investigation which is available in your facility. So it should be at your level also.
Somebody asked about image-based questions will be more, like image-based questions obviously will be there because the last time and all the last 3 times, there are a lot of questions coming from images. And from neurology point of view, I can tell is there will be some image question definitely from IC bleed or a stroke. Every time they used to keep a question from intracranial bleed.
And obviously you'll have a question on ECG also. So image-based questions, exactly.
And EEG,
so I think
they used to keep it. One is every time they used to keep is one is hypsarapnia and second one is absence. I think nothing more than that will be kept as from EEG point of view.
See, I think that nothing can be asked from images beyond what we have taught. I think images have been extensively dealt with. All of our faculties have taught you with images, so it's not merely a bookish lesson. So I don't think images would be any particular problem to you.
Images would be the easy to score questions for you because
easy
to score questions. Answers. They will be having very definite answers and be easy to figure out. That part you completely leave. Okay, don't go behind any other source for any image. It is absolutely not required. Arjun, any more questions? I think we've answered most of this. No?
Um,
People are
so-
asking on the 2-month plan and when it will be announced, etc.
yeah.
So Arjun, one more question is being asked, sir. Any plan regarding NEET PG style Q banks, custom modules, and pearls in SS?
So I first let me address the question of pearls. See, pearls is free for everyone, right? So you can see the pearls of the existing edition 5 and edition 6. You just need to go to the menu side, change the course of yours to edition 5 or edition 6. You can see the pearls there. We are making an attempt to get the pearls available in SS course as well. And we have some SS level pearls which we have created, but we are not in a position to publish all this now. The QBank and pearls will only be available after September. Custom modules, not in thoughts now, but currently the focus is to give an excellent QBank. That is what the team is working on now.
See, please
What about the
understand.
2-month plan? 2-month plan?
So 2-month plan is awaiting management approval. All the discussions are ongoing, but we will be able to update you this week itself about that.
So Rakesh, a candidate's question. I'm a third-year postgraduate. How to proceed forward so that helps in both theory, practicals, and DM SS centers?
That's
So
what
he
we were
wants
trying to answer. Or not, like, yeah, you see the cases, you come back and read. I mean, you see whatever you possibly come back and read, and at a point you find out a subject and just push on and read that more extensively. That's more than enough. There is absolutely nothing else that you need to be doing for that.
There is a question about basic biostatics. Do you think we need
Yeah,
to...
we have answered that actually. It said that I don't think you should read that at this particular point of time. Use your basic knowledge.
Whatever knowledge you have out of doing your thesis, that is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Question comes above that level, again, nobody will answer. So
Nobody is
what-
going to answer. So if nobody knows it,
Yeah, I'll make an attempt to see if this is available in our NEET PG videos. If it is available, we'll make it available for you.
Yeah,
So
I have
by-
actually seen that, but the point is that sir has community medicine faculty, Dr. Mcqs has done extensive biostatistics. So whether it will, you can
So
definitely
most
watch
of-
that, but time is the issue. Time is the constraint.
most of the biostatistics are definitely a part of your INSS. They ask around 3 to 4 questions from it.
Yeah.
Around one to two you can answer by the thesis, and the remaining 2 I don't think anyone answers. So that is a 0 question for everyone else. So I don't think you should put much efforts into that unless you're actually going in for an INSS.
So one more point I just wanted to add, there is a lot of question about 21st Harrison edition. So all the questions which we are now framing for this month will be based on 21st edition Harrison. So that, in terms of all the GTs and the other mini tests.
Okay. So I think we've answered almost all the questions. If anything remaining, you can post in our Facebook group. Okay, you can always post and we'll be happy to answer that, provided the question has an answer. Okay. From where to start? From where?
So, there is a question about NEET SS MCQ videos, notes. So we'll make it very clear here. We will not have MCQ discussion videos notes available.
Yeah. So yes, most of the, I think, questions we've answered, and I think from Arjun's side also we've answered almost everything. So anything else remaining?
Somebody like Vidhu Dhawan, my question has no answer. What is the question? Can you please?
Somebody has asked me to publish a book of medicine. I think we have done enough and more videos. That is more than enough. I really don't think there is any need for me to publish any book. There are enough and more books. So I think we have done the video. That's more than fine. I am having confidence lack. If you're having lack of confidence, you take my number from Arjun and call me. Okay, I'll give you. I am having enough and more, I think. So something that you can share also. NEET SS MCQ 81 videos, when will be the notes uploaded? Arjun has made it very clear, MCQ notes will not be uploaded. How can we effectively use Marrow as we are not dealing with the patients in clinics the way medicine people do? I didn't get the crux of the question. Did you mean that specialty people are dealing with patients differently? Yeah, that's true. They deal with patients differently. But at a medicine level, we have that plan, no? Like a kind of way that your department will be working. That is the only way that you can deal. And when you discuss with the app, you get a better idea. That's all.
Rakesh, sir, this
I
video
think I
is
just
asking about DM genetics.
DM genetics again, see, that's what I was trying to tell you. Are you thinking about like the genetics part of it, the scope of it, or like how to prepare with medicine?
Is not MD medicine, do we have scope? And what specialty have you?
see. I think anyone can write that exam, right?
Yeah, anyone can write that exam. It's open to everyone. And the scope of it, obviously, I am not the person to say because
I think DM genetics is something which we have a gray area. All of us have a gray area, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I have met a single person who's taken DM genetics.
I too don't know a single person who has done DM
So
genetics.
the scope of it, how to study, it's something difficult for us to answer.
Any DM specialty, the scope of the specialty, if I cannot tell what is the scope of cardiology or nephrology, and they cannot tell what is the scope of neurology, because I can tell only about the scope of neurology.
Exactly.
Those I cannot tell.
No,
The only thing we can tell in general
add,
is that there are enough and more specialists, there is enough saturation. So by the time you pass out, it will be almost like fully saturated. But even though it is full saturated, some people will find their own ways of becoming successful. That is a rule. I mean, so every time it is like that. So we just hope that we become successful. That's all.
See, I have one question. This has also come to our email. When NEET SS gastroenterology in 2021 and 2022 recalls will come. See, unfortunately, we were not able to collect enough questions of 2021 or 2022 NEET SS recall.
Yeah.
So if you or your friends or anybody has a good collection of questions, please do write to us. We tried a lot, so we didn't have enough questions. That's why we were not able to upload it. The best that we can try to do is, with the collection of questions that we have, maybe we will launch a mini test there. That's the best possible we can do. We'll not have a real question now.
I think the same thing applies for the NEET SS also. So if you get your questions, please do send them to us also, so that we can also set up a recall session.
Yeah.
Somebody asks DNB SS or DMSS. Again, it depends upon the specialty and depends upon the institute you're taking. Suppose you're going to take gastroenterology, some of the institute have a lot of newer things when compared to many of the good government hospitals. Compared to government hospitals, some of the private institutes has good technologies and they can able to do things better. So in such conditions, you need to go based on the institute. You cannot tell generally like whether it is a DMSS or DNBSS. You cannot tell like that when it comes to SS. It depends upon the facility, it depends upon the academics available in the institute, and depends upon the past results.
But
So,
on a general note, I've always felt like, having attended so many interviews, etc., in so many different places, that most of the managements
they want DM.
have a feeling that only if they don't have a DM, we will go for a DNB. So that is a general feeling that those people have, which we have experienced ourselves so many number of times. So I think given an option, it's always better to go for a DM.
See, as a general rule, I think if you get DM and DNB, as a general rule, I think you should take DM. But of course, individual centers and in certain individual subjects, it might vary. For example, there are very good DNB cardiology centers where you get enough and more exposures, where the treatment for the patients is essentially free. So it functions like a proper government center. So those are exceptions to the rule. But as a general rule, DM is usually preferred when compared to DNB, especially if you are looking towards the corporate side for job opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. When I has passed out from Trivandrum, when I was applying for job, there are some persons who are applying for job with DNB. They didn't consider DNB. They considered DNB first after DNB.
Generally, hospitals across South India, especially, they take DNBs only if they don't get DM. It's a general rule.
Exactly.
There is
So,
something they
see,
are always like that.
even when I joined a private hospital, so they received DNB candidates. So actually, they don't want, so DNB candidates, there's a general feeling that they don't get exposure to procedures.
Yeah.
And when you are in a corporate hospital, nobody wants to train you. They want to, these people attend multiple hospitals, see multiple patients in different hospitals. So they expect you to know those procedures. So that is why they always prefer DNB, those are studied in good government medical colleges, over DNB candidates.
Yes. So Arjun.
Yeah, I think we can wind up, right?
Yeah.
Should we take any questions verbally or?
I think we've tried to answer all the questions that they've typed.
Yeah, if you have any more questions, if you want to speak, like maybe you can raise your hand. We'll take a few questions and then we'll wind up.
Can we have the list of best centers for DM, DNB, that if you get the rank, you will always get our number from Arjun. You can call and ask. Okay.
I think almost a lot of students have contacted me through Facebook, got my numbers, and have discussed this. So I'll just tell you one thing. We can tell you centers which we have, which we know. So for me and Rakesh, I think we can tell you the important centers in India as well as in Kerala. I don't think if you ask me about a college in UP or Rajasthan, we cannot tell you that. So your best way to know about that would be to approach that corresponding final year DMPG who's there and ask what are the facilities there and is he happy. So apart from that, that is the best source you get. So we can tell you about all like the prime best colleges in India and what is probably in our state. It is not possible to know about the facilities of something like AIIMS Jodhpur or AIIMS Bhubaneswar. So that is a bit difficult.
So I think we have Anirudh Gupta. Anirudh, you can unmute and like speak. Hello. So Vaishnav, can you unmute Anirudh Gupta?
Oh, yeah, one second. Put in there. Yeah, Anirudh, are you able to talk?
Yes, sir, I just wanted to know, can you please elaborate the sources of MCQs that we should be using this last month? Just the tests that have come in the app, or should we go for any book or any other source which will recommend?
Definitely, I don't recommend. There is definite shortage of time. There is no point going behind any MCQ book because we don't have any standard books as such, and NATBOard has not asked us to go behind any book. They've just said PG exit level. There's only time to watch the videos, be strong with the topic, and do a few exams for practice. I think that's more than enough. I wouldn't recommend anything other than that.
Sir, I have just to add that, like, in case you have see, along with Marrow plan, people will get first 3 months edition 5 plan C free, right? So there is, if you still have that edition 5 access, please, you can solve general medicine MCQs there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions? How to handle stress associated with PG and DM? This is looking like a never-ending path. Utter pressure.
Actually, the biggest pressure comes after you pass out your DM. To manage the cases. That is the biggest pressure.
Not only manage the cases, manage the management's expectation.
Yeah, management pressure cases, bystanders. That is the biggest pressure. Actually, doing the PG and DM, it is actually much simpler and compared to the pressure you are going to handle after passing out.
See, let me tell you,
to be a PG rather than a consultant.
See, let me tell you one thing. See, you have finished your MD. So doing super specialty or subspecialty is optional. It is not something mandatory to survive like you finish your MBBS and go towards an MD. Okay. There are enough and more super specialists available, and there are plenty of people whom I know who have been very successful MD medicine but have failed as super specialists. So please remember that. Do not take too much things to heart and try to avoid stress as much as possible. You have a very prestigious degree in your hand already. Please understand that. Okay. So you can practice as an MD very well. Okay, and if you get into an MD program, a DM program, it's well and good, but it's not definitely the end of the world. So I think that should be kept in the back of your mind. Okay, and try to avoid stress as much as possible.
And do enjoy whatever, whether it is MD medicine or neurology or nephrology or cardiology, whatever subject you're reading, you're studying, you're doing, try to enjoy it rather than keeping an endpoint or keeping a goal to achieve.
Yeah.
Don't keep your goal should be getting knowledge.
Only if you enjoy studying or seeing those videos or learning about a subject, then only you will be able to retain it. Then only you will have that motivation to push on and then go towards the next topic. Please understand that.
Yeah, and don't keep a goal that I have to achieve this much, that much. Just keep open-minded. You are learning something new. You are learning every day. That should make you happy. That is the end of the
then only can you move forward with this. If you start keeping too many goals, you will not achieve any single goal. So that is absolutely not the way to do. So just be happy, just try to focus on what is your job at hand and understand that being a PG is the easiest part, because working as a team, there is nothing called individual responsibility. There is only shared responsibility. Once you work in a hospital by yourself, there is individual responsibility. Something goes wrong, everything will fall on your head. So as a PG, there is absolutely nothing like that. Even if you do something, even if you do peritoneal dialysis and puncture the aorta, also nothing will happen. But as a student, I mean, as a consultant, you will not have the guts to even do peritoneal dialysis just because of a fear that if something goes wrong, there is nobody to support me. So because
you might do 100 procedures correctly, you might do 100 angioplasties properly, but that one angioplasty you screw up will create great problem. He will take that CD to some other cardiologist and then he might create problems for you. So please understand that being a PG is the easiest part. Okay, once you come out, it is a real world of sharks.
That is the old story, because in Madras Medical College, if you ask Nishant, they will tell you on a given day there will be 150 plus admissions in medicine. Even if 50 people die, also there is absolutely no issue. Nothing will happen there. You imagine a basic, consultant job when you're working in a hospital. There are 5 admissions, and one case goes bad means you are in total soup. So that is how it is. So
even patients who are destined to die, also they create problems.
Yes.
So those are real world scenarios. So please understand that being a PG, studying for your DM is actually the easiest part. When you finish and come out, then you actually face the real world difficulties.
Arjun?
I think nobody's asking any more questions, right?
Dr. Rakesh.
So kindly keep sessions like this at intervals, boost morale.
I'm so glad to know that it has boosted your morale. We have been very frank to be like, we've been very frank. We just answered what comes to us very naturally. We have not tried to plan out anything or give you answers as per a thing, or we want more people to buy the. I don't want any more number of people to just buy the app because I am there or Nishant is there. Only if you like it and if you feel that it is useful, you need to buy. And it has to give you some positive vibe. That is the most important part. That means some kind of a positive vibe that you didn't know this previously. Now you know, so you feel happy. So that is the whole thing. And I have also watched Nishant and Baishyak's videos as a medicine student. And I have been able to strike a chord. I have understood things which I didn't know. So you will also be in that same place. If you watch, you'll understand a lot of things that you didn't know. You will feel, you know that, okay, many things that you understood were wrong previously. So that is a process of learning, and it may come in handy in some way or the other. You can't say in what way it is going to come in handy. That's what I'm telling. Don't just think of the patients alone. Anybody can have a problem. Your own parents can have a problem. Your relatives can have a problem. Your friends can have a problem. Anybody can have a problem. You yourself can have a problem. So it is that it will come in handy at some point in time or the other. It will not go waste.
Knowledge is never wasted.
It will come in handy. That's all.
Knowledge is never wasted. Something which you hear right now in your lectures or what you read in your textbooks, 15 years down the line, it might be useful to save a life of a patient. So please understand.
We can't say that. Only thing is, you should not study when you feel like, okay, what rubbish am I studying? Like just keeping on mugging things. We are beyond that level. Okay, so we shouldn't do that. As a 12th standard student, you can mug something. That's okay. But like as a MD, post MD, if you keep mugging, means that we will not achieve.
So remember, you're treating patients, right? So you cannot mug up and treat patients. So one candidate has said that there is too much spoon feeding going on. Agree. Again, I think
Yes.
This is
I
not
think-
spoon feeding, man. This is
Yeah,
genostomy tube feeding. This is not spoon feeding. Spoon feeding means you are putting it in the mouth. We are not doing that. We are putting it in the jejunum. It is just about having enough villi for absorption, nothing else. So just absorb and properly, and we don't even have to assimilate. Okay, so just absorb and do. But that is what is demanded. We never had this kind of learning platforms when we were studying. So now this is the rule. This is how things are. So we have to go that way.
See, things are far easier right
Very
now than
easy.
it was for like in our generation or our teachers' generation.
Yes.
So I think if you want to know about a particular topic, you have so many options. You can read, you can go to UpToDate, you can go to eMedicine, you can go to Marrow, you can go to some other platform, you can go to YouTube, you can go wherever you want. There is so much options there. Now the problem comes is selecting the right option.
Correct.
That is the problem. It is not what the number of options, it's about selecting the right option.
And I actually think like when you are writing for a NEET UG or NEET MD exam, NEET PG exam, you might have a lot of stress and pressure because this is something you need to achieve. But when you're writing for NEET SS, I think that much stress should not be there. That stress is actually something which will do bad to you in the last 1 month, because there is nothing to lose for you. You already have the MD degree. You are learning something new. You take it in that way. That is the only thing I can tell you in the last 1 month. Because if you keep the stress and tension building up like this, it will not. Whatever you know that you will not be able to deliver at the time.
So one candidate has asked, should I practice for 1 year and then go for DM, or should I directly go for DM? So I think that should be a personal decision. So this is a decision which I took, that I would practice for 1 year and go for DM. But when I started practicing, within 1 month itself, I decided that DM is absolutely essential for me. So I think that should be an
It's a
individual
personal
decision.
call. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
personal call. You can.
It's a personal call.
Yeah,
It's an individual decision.
when I finished the MD, I was thinking like I won't take DM. I will go for continue with MD medicine only because I like medicine more than any other subject. If I go to any super specialty, I cannot practice medicine. That was what I thought. Then I ultimately went up in this one. So everything depends upon your personal thing. This is you are so matured. You have family, kids, everything will be there. So everything you have to consider before planning for DM or whatever it is.
That is very, very important. Okay, because
and remember,
your financial status is important, because you get screwed in a DM in a college where there is less stipend for 3 years, and you shouldn't be cursing yourself that you are having to do this, etc.
And remember, you'll have a family to support also at that time.
And life is not just about career. Life is about career plus family. Not
so
just,
remember, there is no end to how much you can learn. So you take DM cardiology, then you can take something like electrophysiology, then you can become or something like you can take structural heart diseases, and then you can go for you can be an ablator, or you can be a device expert, something like that. So there's no end to how much you can keep on learning. It is a call that you take when you decide to stop. So some people can stop at MBBS, some people stop at MD, some people stop at DM, some people take a fellowship, some people take multiple fellowships. So I know a senior of mine who's taken 4 different fellowships. So it is a personal call when to stop. Remember, this rat race never ends. At some point of the time, you should take a call that enough is enough and I will step out of that rat race. When you step out is your decision.
For exam, we keep a habit of daily solving MCQ. If you have time, you can definitely solve MCQ. But at 1 year to go for exam, you can prepare for your exam, that is the MD. Along with that, you can go through in detail, in depth. You can.
Exactly. So I think 1 year is more than enough time to go through everything which Marrow has to offer.
Last time we were interviewing some of the candidates, they had actually gone through only 2 months.
3 months they had completed.
3 months. And
so please remember, 1 year is 1 year is plenty of time, and your concepts will be really, really strong if you are able to complete Marrow videos. Please understand that. So it's not like, please understand that it will be really helpful for your exams, for your clinical practice, as well as for your practicals also.
So in a nutshell, actually, this when you are preparing for your SS, this is not just cracking an entrance. This is not just mugging up things. You should have concepts.
See, you're treating with the life of the patient, right? So you should know what is going on there properly.
And again, in this pattern, when there's a common pattern, again, going to the struggle is like which, like you don't know what exactly different specialties are because you are practicing in medicine. So you should have the definite concepts about each specialty before you're selecting, and you should have a the like towards the subject. Otherwise, it's difficult. Those are not the topics of discussion today, I think, like because we are discussing about those topics in 1 month.
So one thing I would like to see, you have a great opportunity in front of you. Like when me and Rakesh were studying, you had to choose what subject you wanted. So for example, I like 2 subjects, cardiology and nephrology. But obviously I can only study for one. So that's how I chose cardiology. But right now you have an option that you can, according to your rank, you can select whichever subject you want. It's not like that you need to read Fihali or then you need to read Braunwald or something like that.
Yeah. I think then we can wind off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we will definitely be looking forward to recall questions from all of you.
Yeah.
Because then
And we
we'll
will definitely be doing sessions like this. If you are interested, we can do sessions like this 100% with a particular agenda. Like now we have an agenda SS exam, so that we can do sessions like this with a definite agenda. I think we are always happy to help you out.
So any doubts that you have, you can still use the Facebook group. You can tag the faculties and post there.
I think the Facebook group is seldom being used nowadays.
I know. So we usually give all the updates there. Anything related to new videos being added or new notes being available. So we will be updating there. So kindly watch and subscribe to that.
And some of the students are actually through the Facebook was messaging me. Actually, I am not that, readily using Facebook that much. So it will be always better to post the Facebook common Marrow group so that somebody of the Marrow group, Marrow paper persons will get notify me also. Because I'm not that daily using FB is not, I'm not using daily FB actually.
Okay.
So thank you so much, everyone. So as promised, we will be sending you the PDF. We'll also be uploading in the SS Facebook group. So there has been requests for infectious disease videos, important topics as well. So we will add those videos also into that list and we'll update everything there.
Okay then. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Okay. All the best.